Hello from the other side of the screen, and welcome to the #1 podcast in the whole world, the Makwanas Podcast. I am Nikita Makwana, and you know I don't do this business alone. Sitting with me here, as always, is my one and only husband and co-host Mompoloki Makwana. Papi, say hi to somebody behind the screen. They missed you a lot.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for hosting us. I was just looking forward to the part of my one and only husband, because if I'm not on TV, if I'm not on the screen, I will not get that. Yes, I will get the benefits, but I will not get being called that. So thank you so much for hosting us.
You're welcome. I also love when you say for hosting us. You make me feel so powerful. It's like I'm owning the podcast, but it's supposed to be the Makwanas Podcast and being co-hosted. Yeah. So you said something about the screen, and what are you saying? You love being called one and only husband in front of the camera, or?
I think when we were driving on the way, we talked about something important. You shared that. It's like all the time when I get an opportunity to be on the screen, I re-emphasize how that I'm your husband.
Yes.
And I think it brings a little bit of shame on me, but I'm just excited.
What do you mean by shame?
Can you imagine? You're supposed to be the one leading. You say, my husband is here. But it's like me, I'm very too proud beyond measure talking about you as my wife.
That's interesting. I'm actually going to ask Mr. Pardon, our media team to play that short video. Actually, what happened in the video, they're going to see it, but I'm going to talk about it as well. Yeah. I realized a common trait. Every time I'm with my husband and we are making a short video, I'm just switching off on the camera and I'm like, hi guys, I'm Nikita Makwana, this is what we are doing, and I'm sitting with somebody. He will make sure that in that video, he says, yes guy, I'm Mr. Makwana, the wife to Nikita Makwana. Hi from the other side of the screen, Nikita Makwana here. I'm heading to shoot the podcast, and guess who I'm with?
The Makwana himself, the husband to Nikita.
Mr. Makwana. So we are going to be shooting our podcast. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. So make sure that you tune in. You're going to love it. Like you always emphasize it, and the conversation that we had is most of the time, I mean, after the short clip, we said, I asked you, Papi, did you recognize that every time I give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, you won't say, hey guys, I am Mr. Makwana, the CEO of Employee Africa, or I am this. Your focus is, I'm the wife.
Love first, everything else is a bonus. I think when we look back in that narrative, I accompanied you this past week. This week, where you were
a few days ago.
Yes, you were moderating on at Boost, and they were having a public lecture
on diversity, equity, inclusion, and access.
Yes. Right? And I realized the feedback mostly from the people who are attending, your colleagues, including your high-ranking colleagues,
my seniors at work,
in this professional today, in the professional world, where the husband can be there, the wife can be there, and not from a place of, but from a place of, I know what to do can impact me, and I know that wherever you are going, you are opening doors for me. So I think for me, that sense of pride and always emphasizing,
are you confessing?
This is the diamond behind the diamond you see in me.
Oh, that is so sweet. That is so sweet.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, and I feel like it comes from one of the things that we have learned in the early stage of our marriage as a family. I actually realized that in Botswana, the society that we are, I want to believe that the culture has a lot to do with it. We are more shy to be seen with our partners, or even, let me say, to work with our partners. And I'm saying this from our personal experiences, and please understand that I'm not saying that's the case for everybody. Each time we are together, we are working together, or we are doing work together, we get feedback from people being surprised that, oh, you are doing this thing with your husband, you are doing this thing with your wife, and sometimes it feels a little bit awkward when you are holding the hand, and then you recognize in the whole mall you are the only one who is holding a hand, you know. So that is something that I actually got to appreciate, that we taught ourselves early, in our journey. So even when people see you somewhere, they're like, oh, where is Mrs. Makwana?
there's always that element, and I think it brings, it's one of the most powerful level of accountability, where it's like one as mama, people know one as mama, but then from the point of your work, your personal life, like, oh, we acknowledge your partner in your life, and it really brings the best and the level of pride.
Wow, that's beautiful. You actually shared a story with me some time ago when you were studying in the US. You had one lady that was supposed to be a caretaker of you as international students, and this lady, you know, you shared with me that she has a husband. The husband was not working in that company, but you felt like, can you just share with everybody that story?
Like it was part and parcel of what she does, and we find ourselves mostly, and talking about the Mandela Washington Fellowship, so our friends have just left just recently, so it was the same experience. So we get there, we see her, we thought even he was part of the members of the school and arrival caretaker, but you find that this is the husband, and they are, you know, part and parcel, not like hands-on, but being there to support, and you realize, oh, I can help there, and he was willing to assist. Even when he was not feeling well, we said, we're going to check on him, how is he doing?
But he's not part of the organization. He's not hired in the organization. He's there to support the wife, and the wife talks about him. And
so you don't necessarily have to know Chinese, like myself. You just have to know your person and to say, I just want to be there to see what you do and to learn what to do. And it exposes you. It has exposed me to a big information that they talked about: diversity, equity, inclusion, and access. And it really goes back to me as a leader. But without that willingness to support you, I don't get to get those opportunities. And that's something that I wanted us to talk about. You know, the humility to learn as an individual. We are living in the knowledge-based economy, but people want to shy away from the fact that what you don't know does not mean that you are counted out forever. You are counted out forever if you are not willing to learn. And most people don't have the humbleness in them to say, I don't know this and I'm willing to learn. What do you think about what brings that sense of discomfort in people, instead of just saying, listen, you know what, I don't understand how this is done. I don't understand how this process can run, but I'm willing to learn.
I think that I will merge that with what you just shared about, you know, getting to learn what I do, not because you are a specialist in the Chinese studies field, in the intercultural field, in the diversity field, or basically just doing the lecturing job that I am doing. It comes with acknowledging that you can learn from just about anybody. And when I say anybody, I mean anybody, including your spouse, including your children, including your supervisor, including your employees, your juniors, your seniors, and all that. So I feel like people are selective when it comes to, sometimes people can be selective when it comes to who to learn to, and that is where we miss it most of the time. People would rather listen to somebody because they hold a PhD and not listen to another because they don't have that kind of qualification. People would rather listen because this one is a lecture and here we are having just a discussion. It won't go a long way. I feel like it is the lack of openness to opportunities that allows you to learn. I'm talking about opportunities in terms of environment. Just understanding, hey, we're having coffee, a cup of coffee here. You can share something that goes a long way in my life. And to say, hey, we are actually at home. We are just, you know, sitting at home and you're saying something that I can really learn from. So I feel like it is the difficulties in acknowledging that every environment is a learning opportunity and everybody has something that you can learn from. So I would look at it that way, honestly.
Okay. I think that's very important because we are living in the world where knowledge is a key driver for everything that we do, whether from a family perspective, from relationship perspective, finance perspective, and just the business world in general. And you find that mostly people will rather pretend to know and now cost you more than if they have acknowledged that they don't know, and you could have invested in a lifetime, investment.
That's really interesting. You are talking about the shame that comes with saying I don't know.
Yes.
I feel like it's because it doesn't start from when people are working in the workplace, or when people now are having partners, they're having spouses. It starts from a tender age. I feel like when we are growing up, or as parents, I'll talk to parents particularly, parents cultivate a belief in their children that not knowing is wrong. How easy? Even when, you know, I don't know if it's only me, guys, you know, my mom is not a bad person, but each time we had, like, she was looking for something in the house, like, where is this cup? And then you say, 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻, and she'll be like, who is 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻 in this house? You know, so you feel like not knowing where something is wrong. And that discussion is a simple discussion that is ongoing in the house. But as you grow, you start to pretend to know things.
Because you don't want to be on the other side.
Because you don't want to be on the other side.
Of the gunpoint.
Of the gunpoint, like, oh no, you never know. So people usually, that's where you recognize they learn dishonesty from, and they learn the shame to say, I don't know how this thing is done. I don't know, because of the upbringing, I would say. I don't know if you experience the same thing. When I went to primary, I used to get pinched, you know, for not giving the right answer, for not knowing, you know. But sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes you just don't know, and it's okay not to know. You just make sure that you don't stay there.
That's true.
That's what I would say.
I think I'm sharing this concept, thank you, Sir. In the element of, we are in the half of the year now, and we are looking to the next part of the year, which is moving into July. And someone may look back and say, I've not achieved much on what I wanted to see in my life. I've not achieved much what I wanted my life to turn out to be, my goals and what my aspirations. And one of the things people overlook is to check themselves on the things they don't know about the things they say they pursue. And so you find yourself that you are grinding and you are gaping, but it's the knowledge that can be a deliverer into the dreams that you are looking for, into the ideas you want to go for. Maybe looking for a job. What is it that I don't know about job searching? What is it that I don't know about public speaking? What is it that I don't know about relationships? Because most of the time we want to hustle and move leaps and bounds with the limited knowledge we have, and it takes a toil. I can imagine Stephen R. Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He gives a story, a story. He said 2 men were given a task to bring down a big tree. The first man started by moving and sharpening the axe. The other one started right away by hitting. And it took lesser time for the one who sharpened our axe. And I think as we are moving into the month of July and deep into the year of 2024, one of the things that you must be intentional about is to ask yourself, what don't I know about the things that I say I pursue? What is it that I lack knowledge in? What don't I know? And being willing to accept it to yourself before you can accept it to the next person. There are points where maybe you are asking me and expect advice, and I'll be like, and I say, honey, if you don't know, let me know. And I'll be like, no, you are right, I don't know. Anyway, help me. Help will come when you accept, I don't know. You talked about a powerful story in the Bible of a woman who said, I don't know, I accept that you know. You talked about Peter.
Oh, yes. I actually remember. I was just saying, please, Lord, let me remember the story he's talking about. I was actually paying attention to what you are saying. You know, most of the time I say when you're speaking, I get lost into that because I'm recognizing how personal what you are saying is to me. I mean, you've been touching on, you know, making time to know and accepting that I don't know this thing. We recently were looking at one of the common Bible scriptures of how a man admitted weakness. Sometimes not knowing could be a weakness in a say. I mean, it is a shortcoming because knowledge is what will help you to get things done.
And so says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge.
My people perish because of lack of knowledge. So we were talking about dissecting that scripture and to see how we can use the same scripture in our personal lives. So we talked about Peter. Was it Peter? Who was in the boat with other disciples. So when he was there, he saw Jesus, you know, floating on the water. The first thing that he admitted was that I don't know how to come there. I don't know how to do it, and I have never done it for myself. So, you know, help me, let me learn from
Yeah.
those who know.
Yeah.
And I know that most of the time we get to say, Peter doubted and then he ended up drowning.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he did take a few steps
Yeah.
from the boat
Yeah.
to, he just started drowning when he doubted.
Yeah.
So there was a level of vulnerability there that was expressed. He became honest, like, I've never done this, my mother, my uncle have never walked on or floated on water. You do it. Can you please show me how you did it?
Yeah.
And he took those baby steps and then it worked.
Yes.
I think the second scenario that we looked at where somebody acknowledged
Not knowing. Yeah.
was the story of the fisherman.
Yeah.
Where was it still Peter?
I think it was still Peter. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So the guy was a fisherman and he has been doing this for many, many years. That's his profession. And he has been doing it the entire night,
Yeah.
toiling the entire night. He couldn't catch nothing.
Yeah.
And then Jesus comes and is like, can you cast your net deeper?
Yeah.
And the first thing that he did was to acknowledge weakness. He said, I have been doing this thing the whole night
Yeah.
and I caught nothing.
Yeah.
That's accepting. This is what I have done, right? And then this is the most important part of the discussion. It says, but because you said so.
Yeah.
As somebody who is better than me, however way you are better than me, however way you might know what you know, because you say so, I'm going to cast the net deeper.
Yeah.
And you know how the results went, it was an overflow of fish and all that. So I feel like it comes from that, to recognize who can help me, and people can't help you until you acknowledge that,
Yeah.
can you please help me? I'm accepting that I am weak in this area. Can you please help me? Or when somebody is giving you recommendations to do something that they have done, don't say, I was thinking about that. Oh yes, actually the Holy Spirit has been ministering the same thing to me. You know what? This morning I was watching television and I saw something like that. You know what? Actually, I was just thinking, I was about to say that, be quiet. Listen to what somebody is saying. Even if you had the idea, at this point it doesn't matter because you didn't implement it.
Yeah.
So we didn't know that you knew it. And even if we know that you knew it, we don't care because you didn't really produce any results to prove your knowledge. So I think basically that is, my take on that.
That's powerful.
Thank you.
I wanted you to share those stories and to highlight the importance of humility and the power that you gain when you accept help now, the power that you gain going forward. And as we are looking into 2024, starting the second half, go with this way. Not knowing is not a problem. Pretending that you know is a problem. Not knowing is not a problem. Pretending that you will know later, but you're not willing to put the work, it's a problem. We're living in the knowledge-based economy. And God himself, not me, God himself, he said, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Don't perish, my friend. There is information out there. The day you accept, this I don't know, this I didn't know, you are setting precedents for the future that waits ahead of you.
Absolutely. So as you are moving into the second half of the year, you might be feeling overwhelmed, looking at the things you wanted to achieve. Maybe you didn't achieve them and you're trying to say, I want to do this. Sometimes it's not about doing, it's about learning how to do things and asking for help from the right people. With that being said, my husband and I, together with our team at Employee Africa, we have put together a summit called Employee Africa Summit that builds, it's going to be great, isn't it? It brings thought leaders, experts, business leaders, professionals like yourself from diverse backgrounds. It provides an opportunity for you to learn how to position yourself better in the marketplace, how to lead better, and how to make sure that you thrive in the global economy, or basically in the marketplace. It is not the kind of event that you want to miss. Actually, it is our second annual Employee Africa Summit, and it's happening right here in Cresta, Gaborone, 27 and 28. If you have not signed up for it, make sure that you shoot straight to the link that we are going to be sharing in the description section. You can be able to sign up there. If you are a corporate leader, be sure to bring your team. You don't want to learn and then you leave them behind.
All that said, remember my wife and I are running a program called Master Public Speaking, influencing the world around you. Don't pretend that you know how to present. Don't do that. So make sure you submit yourself and come to learn on the public speaking, Master Public Speaking. Our next installment, cohort 16, It's happening right here on Cresta again. It is on the 6th of July 2024. So 1,500 pula is enough for you to sign up and join this massive transformational program, Master Public Speaking. So we are excited to have you there. Also, remember to check out our social media platforms. The Makwanas is our portal on Facebook, the Makwanas as well on YouTube, and you can also check us on LinkedIn. We have the Makwanas Podcast on LinkedIn. We are looking forward to sharing more. And by the way, we are reminding you this is season 2 because the first season was 20 episodes. They are available. Go and learn from episode 1. This is the first episode of season 2. Thank you so much for being a part of this family. We are looking forward to having you there.
Thank you so much. If we have been a blessing, remember to like, to hit the subscribe button. See you next time.
See you next week.